When it comes to nutrition, we all try to be as healthy as we can be. Well, today we're focusing on plant-based nutrition. And joining me now is registered dietitian and also nutrition expert with Hilton Head Health, Felicia Spence. Thanks for joining us, Felicia.
Oh, thanks for having me.
It's great to see you. So let's talk about this new trend when it comes to nutrition. A lot of people are really getting into plant-based nutrition. Can you tell me a little bit about that philosophy?
Yeah, it's a major mega trend in 2018. I think every plant-based eater is smiling ear to ear because we're hopeful that the trend is going to keep going. So I think the name in itself pretty much sums up the philosophy that it's whole food. It's intact as nature has intended it to be, and it's plant-based. So it's an abundance of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, and it's different from a vegan dietary pattern because it doesn't have the processedness of foods. So there's no meat alternatives, there's no potato chips, there's no candies, there's no cookies. It's all whole food, plant-based, natural, great tasting foods.
So as natural as you can get.
True.
What are some of the benefits when it comes to switching over or starting this type of trend with plant-based nutrition?
Sure. On a standard American diet, a lot of that is composed of meat products, dairy products, packaged processed foods, and we're missing the health benefits. You know, we're very overfed and undernourished.
A lot of times we don't realize that when we're eating. I mean, we go with what tastes good, but the plant-based foods can actually taste good.
Yeah, that's the number one reason why people choose foods is because it tastes good. So if we can make plant foods taste good, it would be a game changer. So a lot of up and coming businesses are really teaching people how to cook plant-based foods in a tasty way.
What about covering the nutritional benefits that your body needs? I mean, when you're going to plant-based foods, I mean, I automatically think, am I getting enough protein? I mean, so what about covering and making sure that we're getting the benefits that we need?
I think that is a popular question when it comes to transitioning to plant-based foods. You know, how much protein am I getting, and am I getting enough? My kind of rule of thumb is if you're eating enough calories, you're getting enough protein. You hardly see people in developed countries like the United States that are protein deficient. So it really is just focusing on an abundance of these fruits, vegetables, whole grains, beans, and you're gonna get enough protein because there's protein naturally found in whole grains and beans and even nuts and seeds that we could be included in our diet.
Say someone decides, okay, I'm going to start eating plant-based nutrition. I'm going to start this new trend. I mean, how do they begin?
I think just by being curious. Asking questions. If you've known somebody that has transitioned to plant-based eating, ask them how they did it. Have fun with it. Explore. Maybe one day you have a bean chili, or another day you have a hummus sandwich. So it's slowly taking out things that might be meat-based, dairy-based, and kind of transitioning to more plant-based foods.
Now, what about some advice for our viewers? Because you really are the experts here at Hilton Head Health. What about some advice if someone goes to the grocery store? What are some things that we can keep in mind if we're deciding to start focusing on a plant-based nutritional aspect?
Going to the grocery store can be tough for the first time that you're trying to shop and eat this way, but I think one is creating a grocery shopping list. And also using the produce aisle as your playground. Spend the most time there and explore. If you kind of are a person that goes to the grocery store and you kind of just get the same things over and over again, kind of take a step back and say, what's maybe one new thing that I can try? You know, if I've never tried spinach before, let's try spinach. Or if I've never had quinoa, maybe explore the whole grain aisle and see what options are there. Some aisles to avoid or sections to avoid would be the meat aisle, the frozen processed meat and meal aisle.
Felicia, what would you suggest if someone was beginning this trend as well and they wanted to start implementing it? I love the fact that you said, you can go cold turkey, but it probably is a good thing to start little by little. What would you suggest they do? Start it in the morning for breakfast or lunch or dinner, or implement one thing in their diet?
Start with one thing. Maybe if you have cheese and crackers as a snack, maybe you do carrots and hummus. Or maybe for breakfast, if you are having eggs, maybe you transition to oatmeal. So I think taking one meal or snack at a time and then beginning to ask questions and look for more recipes and build off of that. And I think over time, you'll eventually not only see the benefits in your health, but also your weight, and it'll help you stick to the plan.
And some of those health benefits can really help you go through life and really help you operate at your optimum level if you do something like this.
Yeah, it's almost the optimal way for a human being to eat. And when you look across different cultures across the world, what we find is they eat a very plant slant diet, that most of the foods that they're eating are these whole plant-based foods.
Now, if someone has questions about this type of nutrition, what would they need to do?
Google search plant-based eating. There's also a great website. It's called plantpurenation.com, and they're really on the forefront of providing tools and recipes. There's also a great resource. It's called Dairy Detox, and it's a 12-day course, and it provides you with videos and recipes about how to transition away from dairy, because when I talk to people, that's usually the last thing that they give up: cheese, ice cream, those types of foods. So if we can transition away from those foods, that might be the kind of last thing before you actually become a plant-based eater.
Well, thank you so much, Felicia. I love the idea of starting a trend like this and making a healthy way of life a way of life for the rest of your life.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed this.
If you'd like more information on Hilton Head Health or any of our coastal experts, all you have to do is go to our Coastal Experts page. You'll find that at WSAV.com.